Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatic Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Alrighty, welcome back to another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. Today we have 4 Milwaukee Brewer games that have taken place since last week Wednesday, and then today I'm very excited. Jake and I are doing Bucks transactions today as well, so looking forward to it. Jake, welcome back to another Wednesday. Just a little spoiler alert. There's some discussions happening behind the scenes, but we're going to keep that keep a lid on that jar for now. But just know what things are happening. But today, things are definitely happening. We're talking about baseball, talking about basketball. Next Wednesday, we are going to go live during the NBA draft as well, because who knows what's going to happen next Wednesday. Obviously, that's some of the things that we're going to talk about today. So, Jake, welcome back, and let's start with the Brewers and Phillies Game 1.
Yeah. If you're wondering, yes, I'm going to talk about Misiorowski a lot because he was incredible. The first thing I wrote down is this is the series of Cy Young hopefuls as we are in the middle of June. Misiorowski's up first, and boy, oh boy, did he deliver. Miz fifth pitch of the game was 104.5, which is the fastest pitch ever by a starting pitcher, breaking his own record, by the way, if you were keeping track at home. He threw a total of 4 pitches at 104. He threw 11 pitches at 103 or higher. He threw 25 pitches at 102 or higher, 37 pitches at 101 or higher, and 50 pitches at 100. He had no 3-ball counts and 5 2-ball counts the entire game. The guy was going absolutely nuts. He set his previous high record after, before the 104.5 was 103.7, which is a radio FM radio station that Tyler gets to listen to in Sheboygan. I don't get it up here in the Fox Valley, but he set that at Colorado on June 7th. He also reached 100, a record 58 pitches, which is one more than he had versus the Cardinals on May 25th. So this guy is just setting records and resetting his own records. He's basically the Wilt Chamberlain of pitchers at this point right now, because every record he sets, he just resets his own record. This is the first complete game for the Brewers since 2023. His 15 Ks are the most ever in a Maddox, which is a one-hit complete game shutout, if you were unaware.
Maddox is if you face the minimum number of batters. If you face 27 batters. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Should have said that in there. He threw 95 pitches and threw 74 strikes, which is absolutely dominant. Of the last 197 batters to face Misiorowski, only 2 of them have scored, and 1 of them is an earned run. Yeah. Over his last 8 starts, he's 7-0 with a 0.17 ERA, which is the lowest ever in an 8-start span, going back to 1913. He has 54 and a third innings pitched, 80 Ks, 9 walks, and 1 extra base hit in his last 8 starts. 1 extra base hit, bro. That is just ridiculous. He's the only pitcher in an 8-game span in MLB history with 80 Ks and 1 or fewer earned run. The only other person to do that is 2018 Chris Sale, who, by the way, gets to face off against the Brewers and Misiorowski on Friday. So that's going to be a great matchup. Chris Sale is a guy that's been around for a while. He's been very good for a while. So that'll be a really good matchup, Chris Sale versus Misiorowski. One more Miz thing, and then I got to talk about Trey Turner and talk about this game a little bit here. Misiorowski has a 33.1% strikeout to walk ratio, which is by far the best in MLB. Second is Dylan Cease at 26.1. Sanchez, who Philly fans still think to this very moment, even though they watch this baseball series, think is the best pitcher in baseball, is 5th at 24.1. He is 9% lower. There is a smaller percentage change from 2nd to 10th place than there is between 2nd and 1st place. There's only 2% change in 2nd and 1st place in strikeout to walk ratio compared to Misiorowski at 9% higher than 2nd place. The guy is absolutely unreal. I think not only is he the best pitcher, he's kind of widening the gap, in my opinion. His ability to fill the strike zone with FU fastballs and then throwing cutters and sliders and throwing changeups for strikes and striking people out with it. It's curveball. I mean, he's just disgusting. So Brewers got RBIs from Bowers, Contreras, and Churio. 5 of the Brewers' 6 runs were 2-out RBIs, and they got a homer from Bowers. The power has been there a lot more. Obviously, Jackson Churio's helping with that. He's healthy with that number. A couple other players hopefully pick it back up a little bit. I mean, Bryce Trang's been good. I feel like Contreras is a guy that, every couple of days can get a home run. Mitchell's been better. So the home runs are coming. So maybe we don't need to hit the panic button on the power option. Maybe that's not the thing. Maybe that's why one of the few people I actually respect at ESPN still, Jeff Passan, keeps talking and begging the Brewers to trade for Tariq Skubal. Begging them. He's basically on his knees like, please, I need to see this in the playoffs. I need to see these 3 horses versus the Dodgers lineup in the playoffs. Like he's basically begging. Like he wants it. And I think for baseball, I want to zoom out for a sec because there might be a 2027 without baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Reports that are coming out are not good. Talking about the shout out to you, Donatello King, I guess. Don't know how to say your name. I'm in the middle of a rant. I'm sorry. So we might not get baseball in 2027. So why not give the fans what they want? Brewers, go for it. And, let's have an amazing NLCS. I think Brewers versus Dodgers with Tariq Skubal, with Miz and Harrison would be absolutely disgusting. So just want to say one more thing. First of all, Trey Turner, we got to talk about you, buddy. Last year you had some comments. Had a lot to say about Misiorowski. Called it the Savannah Bananas, said that it's not really the best players going because, again, his teammate Christopher Sanchez wasn't invited to the All-Star game. And how did he do on this day versus Misiorowski? How's 0 for 3 and 2 strikeouts? How's that sound? How's that for an All-Star, bitch? Yeah, I said it. And of his 15 strikeouts, 12 of them were with the fastball. So that thing is absolutely unhittable. Just had to add that in there. Go ahead, buddy.
I love that when Tim Dillard was talking about the fastball and he was like throwing it out of the zone, but it's moving so fast that you can't even really gauge if it's going to be in the zone or not. That extra like zone outside the zone that Tim Dillard was saying that Misiorowski doesn't even have to throw them near the friend zone for guys to swing at him.
You're in such a defensive mode, bro, that you're just like, I have to swing early.
You just see fastball. You're like, okay, this ball is going straight. Hopefully it's near the zone.
Right.
And it's still by you.
Yeah.
So Jake mentioned the 104.5 on his 5th pitch of the game. He threw 8 pitches at 103 plus in a 3-strikeout first inning. He threw fewer pitches in the first 2 innings than the Phillies opener threw in the first inning alone.
Goddamn.
And got 5 strikeouts while doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got 3 more strikeouts in the 3rd inning. In 9 up, 9 down, had 8 strikeouts in 34 pitches. He had 8 strikeouts while averaging less than 4 pitches per at bat. That's insane.
No.
That is insane. Top of the 4th is when he allowed the hit to Schwarber, then struck out Trey Turner and got Bryce Harper to ground into a double play. 52 pitches through 5 innings. He tied his career high with 12 strikeouts in the 6th. Only on 68 pitches through those 6 innings. He got his 13th strikeout on a challenge by William Contreras. So the whole, Dan, welcome back. The whole ball was in the zone on the one that Contreras challenged for Misiorowski to set his new career high in strikeouts. Pitching into the 8th for the first time in his career, went 1-2-3. Gets into the 9th, gets a 1-pitch, 1-out, ground out. Gets a strikeout for his 15th strikeout of the game in 95 pitches. Like Jake said, not a single 3-ball count. And his fastball averaged over 100 miles an hour through all 9 innings. Now, I don't even remember if Jake said this stat because he had so many of them, but on the 1-year anniversary of his debut, Misiorowski became the first in the modern era, going back to 1901, to have a complete game shutout of 15 strikeouts with 1 or 0 hits and facing the minimum amount. Now, I just want to throw this out there because every time we make a post about Jacob Misiorowski, people are like, "Ooh, how long is the arm going to last?" And I'm fucking sick of it, to be honest with you. Because the way that Misiorowski's throwing, I feel pretty strongly that he's an anomaly. Like I'm, Jake's talking about him being like in a league of his own, and I'm thinking of him like the Victor Wembanyama of baseball right now.
Yeah.
Like that's like he's an alien.
He really is.
That's how I'm feeling about Jacob Misiorowski. He's not the guy that's throwing 103 in the first and then he's throwing 96 in the fifth inning. Like his velocity stays pretty consistent throughout the entire game, and this game was an entire game.
This is a good Phillies lineup, dude. And
They were the second hottest team in baseball coming into this series with the Brewers.
Yeah.
It was the Brewers and the Phillies were the two hottest teams over the previous month.
Yep.
You brought up Jake Bauer's home run in the bottom of the fifth. That was a frozen rope, dude. I'm like, I thought it was going to one hop off the wall, and it just kept going into the Brewers bullpen, so that was cool. That was preceded by a 2-out double by Bryce Terang and William Contreras walk that gave the Brewers a 5-0 lead in the game. Jake Bauers, I do have some more stats on him. That home run was his 6th out of his 13 home runs to that point that he had hit with 2 outs. And then I wanted to give Jake Bauers some credit. So I'm actually not going to say I'm sorry to Jake Bauers. I'm going to say thank you to Jake Bauers. So I'm going to come at this a little bit of a different way. Like we've done the apology for him thing, and that's fun. I just want to say thank you to Jake Bauers because I wanted him to strike out less with runners on base.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing that. So I'm going to say thank you for doing what I was hoping he'd be able to. So looking at Jake Bauers in the month of May and June, he's batting .295 with a .426 on base, a .590 slug for a .1017 OPS with 8 home runs and 7 doubles and 184 rated runs created plus. Those numbers alone are insane.
Yeah.
These are his numbers with runners on base. This is nuts. Jake Bauers with runners on base, 378 batting average, 509 on base percentage, a 756 slug with a 1.264 OPS. He has a 247 weighted runs created plus, 5 home runs, 2 doubles, 15 strikeouts, 12 walks.
Oh yeah.
That's all fantastic. I have nothing negative to say about Jake Bauers over the last month and a half. Absolutely nothing. 2 other things. I do think, personally, I feel that this was my favorite game of the Brewers that I've ever watched. And it has a lot to do with Jacob Misiorowski and the way that he pitched, because I don't think we'll ever see something like that for a long, long time.
Pretty rare to see that.
When
obviously
we're bringing up like stats from 1901 having not happened, it's pretty fair to say that that's like a once in a lifetime type game.
Man, he was 1 pitch away from a perfect game, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, man. So close.
Last thing, Vinny Rottino did bring it up on the broadcast about Andrew Vaughn maybe playing a little bit of third base. I don't think that's a terrible idea. I don't think they need to like try it a whole lot. And obviously we're going to get to discussing Cooper Pratt in a little bit, but I don't think it's a terrible idea, especially if you want to kick around the idea of potentially bringing up a Luis Lara, because then you're taking Jake Bauers out of the outfield and he's currently in that mix just because you can't take him or Vaughn off the field right now, just because you can't take him out of the lineup.
Yep.
So I think putting Andrew Vaughn at third, kind of similar to the way that you've been using Bauers in the outfield just to get him on the field. I think that's a way that if you wanted to bring up a Luis Lara, that you could send down David Hamilton or Joey Ortiz and have Vaughn be your backup third baseman to whichever one of those two you're going to start more regularly.
Yeah.
And and maybe try that. I get that leaves the Brewers basically with 1.5 third basemen, but if you want Lara on the big league roster, I feel like that's a way they could do it.
It's not a terrible idea. I mean, then you can keep both guys in the lineup.
Right.
So I'm with it.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Saturday. So Saturday, this game was a little frustrating, but it is what it is. We did get back-to-back days of Christian Yelich drawing a walk, so Jake was pretty passionate about Christian Yelich not drawing a lot of walks, but he drew 2 walks and had 2 strikeouts in the first 2 games of this series, but it was also 1 for 7.
If he gets on base a little bit more consistently, I will shut up. And I feel like it's one of those things where like I'm trying to like jinx him on purpose. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like we've done that before where we talk shit about somebody and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, of course you're gonna do that."
Yeah,
now.
right. Yeah, right after I said that I needed to see more from you.
Right.
And we talked about it last night. Like he was hitting the ball pretty hard last night in at least half of his at-bats. So that's better. I just had to bring up the walk thing because that's like one of the last things we talked about last week.
Yeah, hey, it's a positive sign. I'll take any positive sign.
But the batting average is down, which makes me sad because that was like the thing that I was saying when you were like, he doesn't walk enough. And I'm like, but he has a high batting average. And now his batting average for the last week is bad, but he drew 2 walks.
Just get on base. That's all I care about.
That's the job of the leadoff man.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at starting pitching, Shane Drowan, he retired the first 5 in order, but allowed a solo home run on an 0-2 pitch, was kind of a bummer. He was trying to get a chase pitch, so he was trying to generate a swing. Obviously, that swing just went over the fence. He showed good velocity. He had good location. I think he had some strikes that were called balls. He had a pretty tight zone in general on Saturday. And then the 2 that William Contreras did actually challenge, unfortunately, were both called correctly. So that kind of put Drowan a little bit behind the 8 ball as far as the strike zone went. And then all 3 runs that he allowed scored on 2 strike pitches. That's the bummer part. Last week I was talking about Brandon Sproat needing a put-away pitch. I think so does Shane Drowan. Now, I'm going to say this on a day that Shane Drowan recorded a career-high strikeouts with 7, but when I'm saying put-away pitch, I don't only mean strikeouts. I mean the pitch that's going to get you an out, whether it's him using a fastball more often than using the cutter that just breaks a little bit and is like 2 miles an hour slower to generate ground balls, something like that. Or if maybe it is a strikeout pitch that he can rely on. Like whatever that case may be, Sproat and Drowan need that pitch so that when they are actually getting ahead in counts, which Sproat has struggled with more, that you have a pitch that you feel you can get an out on in any count.
Yeah.
That's the next step, I think, for Sproat and Drowan.
Yeah, you've had that same kind of thought process when we talked about McGill and Uribe early in the season where you're like, I would pick Uribe because he can get you a ground ball. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. So, like, I get that those guys can get strikeouts, but, like, what we've seen from, like, a Kyle Harrison is, like, we've seen him have 12 strikeout games and we've seen him have 3 strikeout games. Spoiler alert. Like, we've seen him be able to get outs in multiple ways. And even Misiorowski to a point, like, obviously, the Friday night game, you know, over 50% of his outs were strikeouts. But, I mean, the one base runner that he got a ground ball and got out of that inning.
Yep.
McGill, I feel like, is a guy, you know, that's going to get you more strikeouts. Uribe is a guy that I feel like can get you that grounder. Ashby, I think the vulture is a guy that can do a little bit of both. And I think that's part of what makes him so valuable.
Yep.
And it makes him so versatile.
Yes.
So that's the kind of thing where I'm talking about Droat. I almost said Droat and Sprohan. Sproat and Drohan is they just need that last pitch to get you out of an at-bat. Offensively, Garrett Mitchell hit a bomb to dead center to start the scoring. Jackson Chourio tied the game with a home run that was almost to dead center. He actually had 2 home runs in the game on 2 different pitches. And I wrote down their bat speeds. So Major League Baseball average bat speed is between 72 and 76 miles an hour. Garrett Mitchell's home run that he hit, his bat speed was 77.4. And then Jackson Chourio's 2 home runs were 77.1 and 77.2. That's how fast these baseball players are swinging bats that weigh probably 34 to 36 ounces, I would guess. Maybe 32. But you're talking about 77 miles an hour is how quickly they swing the bat.
And they're swinging at stuff that's on average, probably 90 miles an hour if you take all pitches into consideration.
Yeah.
Damn. Baseball.
What I've read is that 1 mile an hour of bat speed equates to, I think it was 4 to 7 feet of distance.
Really? That is very
so
interesting.
that 1.5 to 2 mile an hour difference on bat speed, where you're like above, like well above average. You're talking about the difference between a warning track fly ball and an absolute bomb.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that was good. Churio had 4 hits and 5 at-bats to start this game. He's only had 7 games this year without a hit.
He's balling.
He's 27 out of 34 games he's had hits.
Damn.
30 out of 34 games he's been on base.
Nice.
That is insane.
Nice.
Garrett Mitchell, from May 14th to June 13th, that month, he batted .324 with a .385 on base, a .592 slug, and a .976 OPS, 3 home runs, and 8 doubles. Garrett Mitchell had 8 doubles in a month.
That's
You put that over a season, you're talking like 50 doubles on the year.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. And 20-ish home runs. And obviously we're going to talk about last night, but we'll get to that point.
Yep.
Chad Patrick, this unfortunately was back-to-back rough games. He allowed the inherited runner to score, and then 4 more also. He went away with his cutter a bit and then was kind of getting banged around on his sinker. That's just not the recipe, in my opinion. I think when we've talked about him, when Pat Murphy's talked about him, that when he's got his best cutter, that's when he is really, really, really good.
Yes.
So for him not having the feel of that in back-to-back appearances, that's made for a couple rough appearances for Chad Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
The Brewers did have a chance to take a lead in the 8th. They made it a game with 3 runs in the 8th. Had Bryce Durang and William Contreras up with first and second and 1 out. They couldn't get the tying run in. It's just kind of the story of how that game went. And you have a high-scoring 1-run loss. So is there anything else you wanted to say about Saturday's game?
The things that I've left, I'll say, I know that Drone gave up some runs and some hits. You mentioned his career high in strikeouts. 0 walks for him is a big thing for me.
Yeah,
that's very good. Chad Patrick, I just wanted to touch base on him real quick. He gave up a hit to his first 5 batters, and I think that does equate to him not having the good cutter.
Yeah.
McGill gave a walk and a hit, but had 3 strikeouts, so nice little bounce back for him. You mentioned Churio, 4 for 5 with the 2 home runs. This is his second multi-home run game of the year already and a 4th of his career. So, I mean, congrats to him. Garrett Mitchell, like you said, also hit a home run, and Yelly added to the home run total. When I saw them have bases loaded with no outs in the 8th, I was like, holy shit, they're going to do it again. They were this close. But like we've said for a couple of weeks now, they don't ever give up, and they're always in the game no matter what. This team can score.
We were just saying it too. The Phillies are one of the hotter teams in baseball among the Brewers as well.
Yep.
So like for the Brewers to be able to get it close, like I'm not mad that they couldn't get over the top against the Phillies of all teams.
Right. There's a lot worse.
All right, let's go to Sunday. Jake, what did you take away from Sunday's shutout W?
Yeah. So the other 2 guys that are Cy Young hopefuls. I mean, now Kyle Harrison might be a guy that is not at the forefront of people's minds, but he's definitely in the conversation. I'll say that right now.
Maybe top 10.
He's in there. After this game, he got the win. The Brewers got their second shutout of the series. Also, I don't care about power rankings, but somehow in the power rankings, the Brewers went down 1 after beating the team that was ranked number 6, and they shut them out twice. I don't know how that happens, but hey, that's just power ranking life for you.
Something you did on Bleacher Report or ESPN.
I don't remember who it was. I just saw it and I said, "Yep, that's stupid," and I scrolled. Anyways, so Kyle Harrison gave us 6 innings, only gave up 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks. The Brewers pitching staff as a whole gave up no earned runs and no walks. Obviously, having a shutout, but no walks is impressive to me. 3 strikeouts by Harrison, and first leadoff homer of the year to start this game. 412 feet off Chris Sanchez. Jackson Chourio is just not the guy to hang a fucking slider to. I'm going to tell you that right now. The wrong guy. If you're going to pick somebody in the Brewers lineup to hang a slider, I'll tell you what. On this day, it was also not Blake Perkins. Just going to tell you that right now. I wrote down for no reason at all, Blake Perkins owned Sanchez. For literally all the reasons that make you go, baseball.
I put randomly.
For no reason. You're just like, of all the people, dude, you own an all-star pitcher? I've seen the C bullpen come in and strike you out, Blake Perkins. What is going on? I don't know. Very happy for him, though. Blake Perkins just seems like a good dude, man. Honestly. Like, he just comes to work, does his job. He seems like he's a nice guy to the younger guys, teaches them ins and outs of everyday baseball, being a good clubhouse guy, being a good ball player. Like, he just seems like a good person. But in his previous 7 starts, Christopher Sanchez had only given up 3 earned runs, and Blake Perkins matched that with a 399-foot home run to left center. That was also the last run that Rengifo scored as a Milwaukee Brewer. Just had to point that out after he got DFA'd. For the Brewers in 2026, he and Sanchez, the Gary version, were on base for the 3-run homer. Uribe had a clean 7th. And Aaron Ashby gave us 2 innings and finished this game off. I didn't really have much to talk about, but one last thing that I wrote down is if Ashby isn't careful – I told you I wrote this last night. I told you about this last night. I wrote it the day before. I wrote down if Ashby isn't careful, Harrison and Miz are going to pass him for wins on the team, bro. So getting to 8 wins, I was like, oh damn, they're finally creeping up on Aaron Ashby. And then everybody knows what happened last night, but we'll get there.
Yeah, you mentioned, and with Christopher Sanchez being May's NL Pitcher of the Month, he didn't give a run up for a month.
Yeah.
And he gave up a run to the first batter that he faced in this game. That was Chourio's 7th home run of June.
Dude. Heater.
Like, let's just say he hits, 2 more this month, and you look at May, June, July, August, and September. You look at 5 months of 9 homers a month. You're talking 45 home runs in a season where he missed a month of the season.
That's insanity, actually.
So if you add another 9 to that for the first month of the season, you're talking about Jackson Chourio's ceiling being like 50-plus homers.
Oh, okay.
And that's not just like a conjecture like, ooh, look at what we're saying. We're saying Chourio can hit 50. That's just math. That's just simple math.
That's
9 homers in a month times 6 is 54.
That's how math works.
It's insane. Like I said, Blake Perkins, you said it, randomly owns Christopher Sanchez. He came in 4 for 4 against him. His second at bat was a no-doubter home run. It was his first home run of the season, put the Brewers up 4-0, and naturally came with 2 outs. And then his next at bat was a gap double that ended Sanchez's day that put him 6 for 7 in his career against Christopher Sanchez with 3 doubles and a home run.
Mm-hmm.
4 is the most runs that Christopher Sanchez has allowed since April 23rd to the Chicago Cubs when they were actually playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Harrison, I think he had a really good bounce-back game compared to how he pitched in Vegas. And I don't even think Kyle Harrison had his best stuff that day.
The strikeouts could agree with you.
So that, with him, he pitched 6 scoreless innings against a good Phillies lineup, had 3 hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. And that's why I came to the conclusion that I feel like the put-away pitch, when I say that I'm not only saying the pitch that gets you a strikeout, just the pitch that gets you an out.
Mm-hmm.
The other nice thing about this day is that Sal, Bowers, Turang, and Christian Yelich all got the full day off. So being able to get a day off for some of your most used guys when you're playing a good team, still getting a shutout, getting a W, that's all really great stuff. Looking at the series as a whole, the only pitchers who really struggled with Philly were Drowan a little bit and Chad Patrick. On the series, Kyle Schwarber was 5 for 12. He had 0 RBI and all singles.
Hell yeah, dude.
Bryce Harper in the series, 0-for-10. 2 out of the 3 games, the Brewers had 0 walks. They had 2 shutouts. They outscored the Phillies 19-9 over the weekend.
Hell yeah, dude.
So we get to last night. And last night, Robert Gosser put himself in kind of a pickle with the 2 walks that he started the second inning with. The first one was an 11-pitch walk. David Fry, that was a super tough at-bat. He did a really good job after those 2 walks to get a strikeout and a ground into a double play. Allowed a leadoff single in the top of the 3rd and then got another ground into double play. Cooper Pratt had a grounder, and that was his first opportunity to make a play at first. His first play was just a scoop to Turang to start one of those double plays. And naturally, the baseball gods are like, guess what? Your back foot's going to slip as you try to throw this. And then he airmailed it over Andrew Vaughn. But it is what it is. Robert Gosser got 1, 2, 3 to follow that to pick him up. All in all, even with the error and that 1, 2, 3 to end that inning, still only threw 7 pitches in the 4th inning to get himself kind of back on track with the 5th. 5th inning only threw 16 pitches. He finished 5 2/3 on 77 pitches. That's pretty solid. And I don't disagree with where Murphy took him out. Facing Rhys Hoskins, you get a righty-on-righty matchup with John Kunal. And Gosser's day ended with just those 2 walks and then had 2 hits and 5 strikeouts. I think we're now 3 or 4 starts for Gosser in a row where he's getting better each start. So I think we're trending in a good direction with Robert Gosser.
Yes, I agree.
And the thing with that, this is a very, very good thing. A tertiary benefit of Robert Gosser improving in every start is now the Brewers can take their time with Logan Henderson.
Yes.
They're not having to rush Logan Henderson back. They're not having to rush Brandon Woodruff back, who got good news. He pitched in Appleton on Tuesday. His fastball was sitting 90 to 92. Pat Murphy said that he was going to be back, quote, soon. And Adam McCalvy asked Murphy if that meant that his next start was going to be in the big leagues. And Pat Murphy said that's what soon means. So Brandon Woodruff is probably going to be back with the Brewers, I would think, probably sometime around the weekend or early next week. And he's going to be pitching with the Brewers.
Yep.
Bryce Turang got a day off, and it did him very well. Obviously, everybody was off on the Brewers on Monday, but Turang got an infield single his first at-bat. Got a really nice tag and throw double play. Hit a dinger in his second at bat, and obviously the Vulture allowed a run, but he got the next outs in the next inning, and then was pulled after giving up a walk. And then Garrett Mitchell in the bottom of that inning hit a home run to give him the win. The 2 home runs that the Turang and Mitchell hit, like both of them being in like the second deck, is something. So I want to let you talk about the game before we talk about Cooper Pratt a little bit and then move on.
So Gosser was really good. And when I was watching this game, I was thinking about stuff that I've learned from baseball from you and from my dad. And it's just like he's allowing his defense to make plays for him, and they were making plays. And that's one of the benefits of being a pitcher on the Brewers that people don't talk about enough is the defense behind you. And now people talk a lot about Bryce Turang, rightfully so, because the guy literally did a double play by himself, which was insane. I was like, holy cow, dude. He made it look easy, dude.
Yeah.
He's just like, all right, so I'm going to tag this guy, then I'm going to whip it over there, and he's going to be out. I'm just like, I don't think people watching that understand that was like really fucking hard.
I don't think people understand how difficult it would be to be reaching out and then kind of leaning and then still throw an accurate ball while you're like not just straight up over the shoulder.
The thing for me is like to be able to think about that while you have a baseball coming at you at a high speed. Like to be able to be like, okay, I'm like to process all of this. Like I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to throw here off balance. It's going to be right on target. And like his throws really aren't off target either. Like that's another thing about him too. Like his throws are usually breadbasket.
And to that point again, like just the amount of locked in that you have to be before that pitch is thrown.
Yeah.
Because he's probably thinking about like, okay, if a ground ball comes, that I have to kind of charge up on versus, a 2-hopper that I can throw over to Cooper Pratt.
Yeah.
So like that, all that stuff is being thought of before the pitch even is happening. So like that's the amount of lock-in from professional athletes is there. It's a big deal.
Yeah. So really good outing by Gosser. I agree with you wholeheartedly that his starts are getting better and better. And that's really a credit to the Brewers to be able to win games while developing young talent is something that I am not going to let go. not something that anybody should overlook. I mean, it's impressive. Brewers got to 44-26 after last night's win, and that's the best record through 70 games in franchise history. So, I mean, they're on track to be better than they were last year, and they set a franchise record last year. So we are.
I'll be honest, this summer is stacked. Between that one big international soccer tournament, America's 250th anniversary, and the Route 66 Centennial, people are going to be traveling. What a lot of folks don't realize is that taking a trip in an RV is a whole heck of a lot more enjoyable than TSA lines or stodgy hotels. And you don't even have to own an RV or drive one to take part. With Outdoorsy, you can rent an RV or camper almost anywhere in the country. You can drive it, tow it, or have it delivered and set up for you. And these aren't bare-bones setups. Many come with full kitchens, bathrooms, showers, and real beds. It's often more affordable than hotels, especially for families or groups. And everything includes insurance, 24/7 support, and roadside assistance. If you're thinking about a summer trip or just planning ahead for the rest of 2026, get 10% off when you book using promo code OUTDOORSY2026. Head to OutDoorsy.com. That's OutDoorsy.com, promo code OUTDOORSY2026.
MeTV is America's #1 classic TV entertainment network, airing over 60 of the greatest TV series every week. Now, MeTV presents The Golden Girls of Summer, showcasing the best of the Golden Girls. Watch Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia weeknights on MeTV at 10 p.m. 9 Central. Log on to MeTV.com now to find out where to watch MeTV free over the air and on cable, satellite, and select streaming services. MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
They always say, I wish people would tell you that you're in the golden ages before you're out of the golden ages. We are in the golden days. We are in the golden days of Brewers baseball games.
Yeah.
So just want to let everybody know that. Also, this is a 12th straight series. They won the first game. So you put pressure on people by winning that first game to win the series. You talked about Kunal. You talked about Ashby. Uribe, the guy decided to spike 2 sliders. And I don't know. This guy he plays video games on the hardest difficulty. I'm telling you right now. Because there was no reason for him to be in that situation. But he got the strikeout at the end to end the inning, throwing a nasty slider. And it's like, well, damn, that was a good one. But, like, you didn't have to be in that situation with a guy at third base, dude.
It's like I understand it now, where he's just like, oh, damn, this spins a lot. Oh, damn, this spins a lot. I understand it now.
Right.
And then he just throws a perfect one.
Right.
Yeah, Steve, 31-13 since April 26th is fantastic.
That's incredible. You talked about Bryce Strang's home run. That was 409 feet. You talked about Garrett Mitchell's home run. That was 111.8 off the bat, 440 feet. We were watching the game together. We were talking on Xbox. It also jumped the Brewers' win probability plus 20%. So got it up to 78.9% with one swing. And, I was watching that ball fly, and I was just like, I don't know if that would have stopped going up if there wasn't seats right there. Because that son of a bitch looked like it was going to go to the moon, dude. A literal moonshot from Garrett Mitchell. Garrett Mitchell in June is batting .357 with 1,053 OPS. He's back.
That'll do.
Back. Yeah. Jackson Chourio over his last 13 games, batting .377, 26 for 69. Nice. 8 home runs, 21 RBIs, a .429 on base percentage, a .783 slug, and a 1.211 OPS. So 1,211 OPS, which is crazy in the last 13 games. The guy is just, and if you didn't know, Chourio and Misiorowski were named co-players of the week. That's how good both of them have been, and they're going to continue to do it. They're on our team.
It's so crazy that there's a co-player of the week, and it's not like it was co-pitcher of the month and it was Misiorowski and Sanchez. Like, it's both guys on the same team.
Yeah, it's
so like they have a guy so nuts on each side of the ball we can't pick one.
Good. That's a good problem to have.
That's a great problem to have.
And we have the #1 bait farm system. I mean, just
no big deal.
No big deal,
So,
1 sec.
Wanted to talk about Cooper Pratt just a little bit. He made his debut, and there's sarcasm right away. Oh, he's 0 for 1. Oh, he's 0 for 2. Oh, and he has an error. I don't care. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
His profile, his ceiling, they're all better than what was currently out there. It's going to be a solid month before I make any kind of judgment on how Cooper Pratt is performing. And I think it's going to take one ground ball hit between the shortstop and third baseman hole that Cooper Pratt backhands and throws at like 106 miles an hour over to first base to get a speedy runner before people are like, oh, shit. Because Cooper Pratt he's built for his defense. That's like his number one calling card is his defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as he gets some more playing time, people are going to be like, oh, Cooper Pratt is not just here to hit his way out of a wet paper bag like Joey Ortiz can't do. Like, people are going to see that his defense is on par with Joey Ortiz's, and he has a higher ceiling with a bat. Yep. Like, Cooper Pratt is a very low floor type player. And I made the comment in some of the, in reply to some of the comments that people were making when Jake asked what people thought his debut was going to look like. And people are saying he's going to be 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts or 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And it's like, Cooper Pratt does not strike out very much. He strikes out like 16% of his plate appearances. Like, it's very, very low. So I don't expect Cooper Pratt to strike out a lot. And I do believe that is something that is also going to benefit the Brewers, even if we're talking about just having balls in play. Mm-hmm. And Steve said that Pratt having an error doesn't bother me. His foot slipped. How often do you see that?
It's pretty rare. It was his first game, dude.
Yeah. So people need to just chill. And I'm glad, like, again, the following that we've built, like, people are, for the most part, like, I hope people give him some patience and realize he's not going to be fucking JJ Hardy in 2 games.
Right. You know, you can look at it a couple different ways. First of all, beautifully done. You can look at it 2 different ways. There's a perspective of like, oh man, it's his first game and he stunk it up. Like, what was all the hype about? Or you could look at it from the mindset of like, so I'm going to take it from the perspective of a regular day-to-day person. Say you're a coffee drinker, right? You spill coffee on yourself in the morning. You could either be like, oh man, my day's ruined because I spilled coffee on my shirt. Or you could be like, well, that's the worst part of my day. And it's over at 6:10 in the morning. The rest of my day is going to be better than what happened at 6:10 in the morning. So having his first error in the first game, hey,
got it out of the way.
Got it out of the way. You made a mistake. Let's go on to Wednesday night. We're going to play a team who's in first place again. We're on murder's row and we're murdering everybody. It's
granted the AL Central is absolute trash, so that helps. But
they are trash and they're without their best player. But still, I don't care. They're still a first place team.
Yeah. And it happened in a win too. Like, that was the main thing that Cooper Pratt was asked about. Like, his debut is like they won, so that's good.
Yep.
So the Brewers have 2 more against the Guardians. Like Jake said, they play at Atlanta. This weekend is going to be a very good series to watch over the weekend, and then we'll have 2 games against Cincinnati next week. And again, just keep an eye on the page because we're talking about doing some different stuff. But then next Wednesday, we are also going to be live for the NBA draft, which brings me to my next thing. Jake and I have been planning for a while now what we would like to see the Bucks do transaction-wise. And we came into this offseason and we're like, all right, there's obviously lots of discussions about Giannis. The owners and Horst said that they're basically open for business. So how do we approach this? And we're approaching it from 2 different ways. Steve Misiorowski versus Sale on Friday is going to be awesome.
Popcorn ready.
Yeah. So we looked at it like, how do we approach this? And basically we're doing it 2 ways. So we're just going to have a fork in the road off season, and we're just going to take a few steps down this path, and then we're going to jump over to this path and see where this path can take us. So we have a situation where we're going to do if the Bucks trade Giannis first. And Jake and I are both pretty strong believers that if it's going to happen, it's going to happen before the draft, because there are lots of rumors that the Bucks want to have multiple picks or potentially move up in the draft. So I think if they're going to do that, they're going to need more picks. So that's the math kind of adding up there suggests that this is going to happen before the draft. I feel pretty strongly if Giannis is still a Buck after the draft, that he is going to be a Buck for life. I don't think there's a scenario in the entire world or the entire universe where we get to October, the Bucks put a $300 million 5-year contract in front of him, and he says, nah. I don't think there's a single multiversal anything where Giannis does not sign that contract in October.
He's been talking a lot about financial future. If you've been paying attention to what Giannis has been saying, been talking a lot about financials lately. So there's a reason he signed with Culshi and all this other stuff. That's all I'm saying.
So we're going to go down this road just because it is a possibility.
Yes.
We did shrink the amount of stuff that we have on this road as far as if the Bucks were to trade Giannis. So we're going to trade Giannis to a team. Then we have one other deal after that, and then we're going to look at some free agents. So, Jake, let's just start with the Bucks free agents. So let's just say the Bucks are going to trade Giannis. Let's look at their restricted free agents and just tell me yes or no if we should keep them. So first restricted free agent is Ousmane Dieng.
Yes.
If they're trading Giannis, yes, you keep him. Andre Jackson Jr.
No.
I put don't care.
I don't care, but I'll say no.
Alex Antetokounmpo is the other restricted free agent they have.
No.
I said I'm okay with it either way.
If he's going where Giannis goes. So if Giannis leaves, he's leaving.
Okay. Unrestricted free agents. Thanasis, if Giannis is traded, obviously Thanasis is not back.
Yes.
Kevin Porter Jr.
He would have to accept I think he has a player option.
Right.
So obviously it's kind of out of our control, but if I was in control, I would keep him with Giannis gone. I'd be okay with seeing that potential.
I put okay either way.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho Sims.
Yes.
Yes. Gary Trent Jr.
No.
Gary Harris.
No.
Taurean Prince.
Yes.
I put sure, but I did put that I understand if he wants to play on a contender.
I agree, but I would like him back. He's a good value.
I would too. He's got value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Go away, my man.
Okay. So Jake and I each have one trade where we trade Giannis somewhere that we're okay with the return, and then we have one trade following that. So I'm just going to rip both of mine because they kind of go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So my trade for Giannis, the only team that I've really been like, I actually want pieces that they have is the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay.
So for me, if I'm trading Giannis, I'm trading into the Hawks for Jalen Johnson, Zachary Risochet, Buddy Hield, and the number 8 pick this year from the Pelicans, and then a 2027 and a 2029 first-round pick from the Hawks. So you get 3 first-round picks. You get last year's number 2 pick, Buddy Hield, and then Jalen Johnson. So that leaves the Bucks with number 8 and number 10 overall in next Wednesday's draft. So my next trade after that would be to take number 10 and number 8 and send them to Memphis for number 3. And then at number 3, you take Cam Boozer. So that gives the Bucks, now you have a power forward with 2 lengthy wings plus Ousmane Dieng. So you've essentially, you lose Giannis, but you've solved your biggest weakness, which was length on the wings. Jalen Johnson and Risochet plus Ousmane Dieng, who already figures to be a piece of that future. And then you have Jalen Johnson and Cam Boozer, who can also replace a lot of the playmaking that you lose with Giannis. So I think that puts your rebuild in like year 3 or 4 instead of having to go through a 5-year rebuild.
That's fair.
Those are the trades that I would make if I was going to trade Giannis.
Yeah, so I traded Giannis to Portland. I kind of like the return. Bucks get Jeremiah Grant, who's a guy who's been a good pro, 20-point per game scorer, can defend, two-way kind of type player, close to the same age as Giannis, so you're not getting much older. But then you get Scoot Henderson, who's a 3rd overall pick in 2023, a guy who averaged 15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, good tough defender, and he can get up in the air and fly, play some defense, like I said. He's only 22 years old. Then you get Shaedon Sharpe, a guy who averaged 20 points per game last year, 7th overall pick in 2022. So you're getting 2 top 10 picks, guys who are under 24 years old.
Another dude that can fly.
Yeah. Sharpe and Henderson they're both athletic. And part of the reason that I like this is because I was trying to think about Taylor Jenkins style of play.
Sure.
You know, he wants to get out and run. He wants to play defense. Sharp and Henderson are two guys that I think fit that mold, in my opinion.
I feel like Scoot Henderson has it in his potential to be like a very similar guy to John Morant, honestly.
Yeah. I agree with that. Get to the rim, finish at the rim, just be a physical force. That a guy
Fast and athletic.
Yeah, he can force the issue on both ends, right?
Yep.
So then I also have us getting a first-round pick in 2027 from Portland, which I've heard rumors. I don't know how true this is. There's just rumors all over the place with Giannis, but I've heard rumors that Giannis said he wouldn't re-sign with Portland. So if you take their two youngest assets for Giannis and then he doesn't re-sign with them, 2027 could be a really good first-round pick.
Yeah.
Also, I have us getting our first-round pick in 2028 and 2030 back, so we'd have our own first-round picks back, a 2031 second and a 2032 first-round pick. So that's a lot of stuff to get. So essentially you're getting 7 first-round picks. If you include Henderson and Sharp, you're getting a second-rounder in 2031, and you're getting Jeremiah Grant. So on top of getting the 2 guards, I think they would keep pick 10, and at that point, I think you're drafting Yaxel. So you put Yaxel at the forward, and then to go with that move, my other trade was trading Miles Turner to the Hornets, who desperately need a center.
True.
And they have some weird situations with their contracts, so I think it works out really well having Miles locked up for the next 3 years. He's 26.5 this year, 27.8 the following year, and he has a player option for 29.1 in that third year. So having a guy that's locked up for 3 years while they try to lock up Brandon Miller is a good option for them, because Miles Bridges is the guy I'm trading him for. He's another athletic physical wing that the Bucks could use.
Yeah.
He is an unrestricted free agent in 2027, 2028. He's under contract for $22.8 million this year. So they give us Miles Bridges, a guy we have to re-sign. We're only going to have 1 year of bird rights, so we can't really go super far over the cap number to extend him, but I think that he would re-sign with us. And you're getting a 2027 first-round pick from Miami, so you'll have 2 first-round picks. You're getting Miles Bridges, a guy who helps with the wings. He could teach Yaxel Lendenborg, a guy who is a physical freak. You get Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharp, my 2 free agents that I would sign. Do you want to just rip those right away?
I just want to say something quick about the trading Giannis thing. In your scenario, you have potentially Yaxel Lendenborg, who could learn from not only Miles Bridges in your scenario, but also Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
If the Bucks are trading Giannis, I understand that people are always going to think it's never going to be enough. To me, what's going to make or break a potential Giannis trade is whichever piece becomes the biggest salary filler, whether it's Jeremy Grant or Tyler Hero. Yeah. If it's something like that, if they trade into Miami, whatever you flip that guy for, that to me is what's going to make or break the Giannis deal. Like if the Bucks trade Giannis to Miami and they get 3 first-round picks, you're like, oh my God, the Nets got 5 for Bridges, and obviously the Bucks are going to get some players in that. If they then take Tyler Hero and they flip him for a young player and a first-round pick in 2 seconds or 2 first-round picks or whatever, and then you look at it and you're okay, now we've gotten 4 first-round picks, a first-round pick from last year in Khalil Ware, who is absolutely a guy that is going to be included in this trade and kept on the roster. Mm-hmm. And then say guys like Pella Larson, Jaime Jaquez, like you got 3 potential solid pieces, 2 of whom were first-round picks, and 4 first-round picks as a result of this deal, plus whatever players and salary you get tossed in.
Yeah.
Or flipping Tyler Hero or Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
That is where I think the deal is made or broken.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm okay with keeping Jeremiah Grant because I think in the Eastern Conference, if you have Grant, Henderson, Sharp, you draft a guy like Yaxel Lendenborg, the 2 free agents that I have us signing would be Mitchell Robinson and Kelly Oubre are the 2 free agents that I have us signing.
Okay.
I think that roster could actually make noise under a good head coach, which I believe that we have now. So, like I said to you, I wrote down my team. I don't know if you want me to just rip that real quick.
Go ahead.
So for guards, you have KPJ, Ryan Rollins, you have Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharp, Kelly Oubre, and AJ Green. I mean, that's pretty good guards. Forwards, you have Miles Bridges, Jeremiah Grant, Taurean Prince, Ousmane Dieng, Pete Nance. I still kept Kyle Kuzma, I think they'll find a deal for Bobby Portis if all this stuff happens. And then for centers, you have Mitchell Robinson and Sims. You have guys that rebound the ball, they play defense, and they're lob threats. I mean, Mitchell Robinson is the perfect unrestricted free agent center for the Bucks. They need to trade Miles Turner. I'm okay with keeping Miles Turner, honestly. But if they do trade him, I would love to go after Mitchell Robinson. I think his impact on the floor fits what the Bucks need more than what Miles Turner does.
Yeah. Especially without Giannis.
Yes.
If you're keeping Giannis, 100% on board with keeping Miles Turner.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Okay, so for me, looking at free agents, I'm looking at the Bucks are rebuilding. Who are some young free agents that we could bring in and see if Taylor Jenkins can play or develop some of these guys?
Mm-hmm.
So my first one is G.G. Jackson, a former Taylor Jenkins player from Memphis. He's a restricted free agent, but I think if the Bucks were to trade Giannis, they would be able to throw some money at be able to throw some money around and throw some money at G.G. Jackson that the Grizzlies would be like, I don't really care, because the Grizzlies are going to be super, super bad next year.
Oh, yeah.
And then G.G. Jackson is also one of the youngest players on the free agent market. And I personally believe he does have some potential. He started 49 games in his career. He did have his best numbers under Taylor Jenkins in 2023-2024. The season before the Grizzlies absolutely did Taylor Jenkins dirty with his staff. He's a slightly below average three-point guy, but I do think he could improve there. He averages 20 points per 36 minutes, and I think his efficiency could tick up by taking fewer deep mid-range shots. My next free agent would be Oliver Max Prosper. He played on a two-way deal, was then converted in March, also by the Grizzlies, but he did not play under Taylor Jenkins. But from year 1 to 2 to 3 in college and from years 2 to 3 in NBA, his three-point shooting improved all of those seasons. He shot 40.5% from three last season. He averaged 10 points in less than 19 minutes per game. He averaged 19.4 points per 36 minutes and had a 66.2% true shooting percentage.
Damn.
So I think those are two super low buys. I mean, G.G. Jackson, you have to pay a little bit because you'd have to make it so that the Grizzlies wouldn't match.
Yeah.
And then I also threw in a deep cut free agency. And I told you I was excited about this because if you are like, oh, yeah, dude, I remember that guy, I'm going to be really excited because I feel like this is a deep cut, and it's Antonio Reeves.
Oh, my God. If I Google this guy and I see his face, I'm probably going to remember him.
He had like a Linsanity run a little bit with the Pelicans in late 24-25. And the Pelicans grabbed him in a second-round pick swap in the summer of 2024. He played in 44 games for the Pelicans in 2024-2025. He started 6 of them. He shot 45.6 from the field, 39.5% from 3, and 80% at the free throw line. He dropped 34 points in his 9th game of his career. And then in those 6 starts, he averaged 17.2 points per game on 45.7% from the field and 40% from the three-point line. I strongly feel that the Pelicans gave up on him way too early. And then he played sparingly for the Hornets last year. But he was a 20-point-per-game scorer at Kentucky when he was coming into the draft in 2024.
I don't remember him on the Pelicans, but I do recognize his name.
See, and I remember him against the Pelicans because like the third last game of the year, he dropped like 30 on the Bucks. But like he had a really good stretch towards the end of that season, and it's like, why did the Pelicans give up on that guy?
They're the Pelicans, dude.
And then it's the Hornets. So it's like, okay, well, not trusting the Hornets to do a lot of smart things, although they're up and coming a little bit. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's go to part 2 and the more optimistically themed section. I think there's some fun things to do here. If the Bucks were to keep Giannis, what are 2 trades that you would make for the Bucks if they're keeping Giannis?
So we're building around Giannis. So the first trade you're doing is you're calling up New Orleans, as we were just talking about them. You're being like, hey, you're going to have to give an extension to one guy named Kevin Porter Jr., but you guys need guard help very badly. Their guards are pretty fucking bad, dude. I'm just going to be honest with you. You tell them, like, hey, you guys want to put butts in seats. This guy can get downhill. He can play a little bit of defense. He could, him and Zion could create some things. Kevin Porter Jr. and Kyle Kuzma as a salary filler. and the 2031 first. I know people aren't going to like hearing trading another first-round pick, but if you're going to build around Giannis, you got to have the Rams mentality. Fuck them picks. So Kuzma, KPJ in 2031 for Trey Murphy III. You get a guy with length, a guy that is a sniper. You rebuild that wing section on this Milwaukee Bucks team. And then one trade while keeping Giannis as well. You trade Miles Turner, Bobby Portis, and Ryan Rollins to Memphis for John Morant and Scottie Pippen Jr. Let's just go get it, dude. Let's just if you're going to go for it, dude, you got to go for it. So I'm just going to rip my free agents and my roster real quick, then I'll let you have the floor, buddy. So my 3 free agents, I love Mitchell Robinson. Like, he's a lunch pail kind of guy, and, like, those are, like, my favorite kind of players. So Mitchell Robinson is a free agent choice in both my scenarios. Obviously, you're trading Miles Turner, so you need to you can offer Robinson a starting spot, and I think he's going to take it. I know that he just won a title, so maybe he takes a starting spot in Milwaukee next to Giannis. I have Russell Westbrook as another free agent option, a guy at the end of his career that wants to compete, plays both ends of the floor, and obviously willing to come off the bench now. And then you have Chris Middleton. Bring Chris Middleton back, not just for vibes, but because the guy can still ball. Give him 15 to 20 minutes a game. You watch his legs. You put him on a minutes restriction, as much as you have to. You make him miss some games in December and January, maybe even February. And then once March comes around, his legs are feeling good, you let him go. He obviously has a connection with Giannis, so they can always go back to that whenever they need to. So your roster is you have Ja, Scottie Pippen Jr., AJ Green, Russell Westbrook, and probably a draft pick to fill out the guards. And then forwards, because you still have number 10 pick, remember.
Yep.
Forwards, you have Giannis, Thanasis, you have Trey Murphy, Ousmane Dieng, you're bringing Taurean Prince back, and you have Chris Middleton in that room now. That's a very good forward room. And then you go to centers, you have Jericho Sims, and you have Mitchell Robinson. That roster, with better coaching, again, I think coaching matters a lot. So much better coaching. That roster with John Morant and Giannis alone is nasty.
Yeah.
Ja's going to be throwing lobs all day to Giannis, Sims, and Robinson. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think Ousmane Dieng is catching some lobs too. So just saying. It would be nice for him to get a little bit more physical. I think that would open up his jump shot a little bit.
Yeah. I still think if the Bucks are keeping Giannis, they're keeping Miles Turner just because that spacing is so valuable for Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a situation where you have a guy that can shoot threes from the center position, that just makes it so that the opponent's center is one step farther away from the paint. Sure. And if we're going to keep Giannis and go for it, like one last ride, like one last contract for Giannis, I think protecting his health is almost just as important as the players you put around him.
That's fair.
So for me, if the Bucks are trading or keeping Giannis, they're going to trade. Also trading for Trey Murphy, but trading Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, Ryan Rollins, and a 2031 first round pick to the Pelicans for Trey Murphy and Kevon Looney.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this deal saves $4 million on the cap, which I think is part of why I included Ryan Rollins, just because they're going to want a young piece in exchange for taking on all the salary of Bobby Portis and Kyle Kuzma. Then, in the same deal, I don't care if it's a 3-team deal or if it's just like the next day you flip Kevon Looney. You send Kevon Looney to Atlanta because they need centers, and you get Buddy Hield from the Hawks. So Looney gives Atlanta a center. They have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, CJ McCollum, and Corey Kispert at shooting guard, but they don't have a lot of bigs. So you get a big, you get a shooting guard off your roster. And then Buddy Hield is actually under contract for this season and next season, where Kevon Looney's a free agent at the end of this season. So that the Hawks would absolutely do that, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Trey Murphy, who is, in my opinion, already at the level that you would want to see Ousmane Dieng get to. Trey Murphy is already that guy. He averaged 21.5 points, 5.7 rebounds, 3.8 assists on 47% from the field, 38% from three, and just shy of 89% at the free throw line.
Damn.
So those are all very, very good numbers.
Yeah.
My second trade, now this one, it makes too much sense for it to possibly happen, right? So this trade, it makes so much sense for both teams, and that's why it won't happen. Yeah. And my second trade is just Bobby Portis to the Orlando Magic for Jonathan Isaac, straight up. The Orlando Magic were dog shit at three-point shooting last year. They were 27th in the league. Bobby Portis shot 45.6. The Bucks get a versatile, great defending power forward that the Magic aren't even using. He played 10 minutes a game last season, but he's making $14.5 million, and you're playing that guy 10 minutes a game.
Wolf.
Give him to the Bucks. We need forwards that can defend.
Probably why Mobley.
You can have our three-point shooter that does not play defense at all.
Yeah, we'll just trade a strength for a strength.
And a weakness for a weakness.
Yep.
You guys need three-point shooters. We need better wing defenders. It's seriously. And their salaries are almost the same.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
This makes so much sense. And that's why it's not going to happen.
It's fair.
It's annoying how much sense it makes. Okay. My 3 free agents following those 2 trades. I get that one of them would not have to not happen for the other one to be able to. But, again, a 1-for-1 is a lot easier than 3 in a pick for 2 and then swapping that second one for a different guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I did 2 trades that included the same player. My 3 free agents would be Luke Kennard. I wanted him on the Bucks like 2 years ago. I still want him. He's a career – I'm just going to read you his career three-point percentages. 41.5, 39.4, 39.9, 44.6, 44.9, 54.0, 44.7, 45.0, 43.3, 49.7, 44.8.
He shoots.
That guy has been a great three-point shooter his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
And he has already played under Taylor Jenkins.
Fair. Didn't even connect that dot. That's fair.
Next is Bogdan Bogdanovic. I don't see the Clippers exercising a $16 million team option for a 7.7 point per game scorer. And now you're going to be like, yep, why would the Bucks do that? Why would they sign a guy that scored 7 points a game last year? Only reason I bring it up is John Horst wanted him a couple years ago. They almost signed Bogdanovic right before they traded for Drew Holiday. So I wonder if John Horst is potentially still interested now at a much lower price tag instead of guys like Gary Harris and Gary Trent Jr.
Fair.
And then my last one, I do also have Chris Middleton. You help make Giannis happy.
Yep.
Chris Middleton in Milwaukee just feels right.
Yep.
And then you have a guy that you know you can put in a role where you can trust the guy that's on the court.
Yep.
And in this scenario, Chris Middleton doesn't have to be your number 2 option. He can be your number 4 option, and you can still trust him. You can have him on your second unit and be like, all right, we have a bucket getter on the floor. You can put him in late game situations and know that, yes, you're going to be giving up something defensively because he's not as quick as he was 6 years ago. But you know that when you get into late game situations and there's 12 seconds left on the clock and you're down by 1, that you have a guy that you can put the ball in his hands and trust that the right decision is going to be made.
There's so many reasons to like Chris Middleton on the Bucks. One, he's a guy that can talk to Giannis like not a lot of people can. He's on the floor with Giannis, so he has the same level of respect that Thanasis does from Giannis, but he's on the fucking floor with him.
And
he's a coach. He's an extension of the coach.
100%, 1,000%.
So you're trying to usher in a new era of Bucks basketball, bring it back to where it was, bring it back to a respectful level where people fear us from time to time, which would be nice. I liked going into games being like, yeah, bro, if I was the other team, I'd be fucking scared playing the Bucks right now. I mean, I want that back. And I think that we're trending in the right direction with the coach hire.
Yep.
I think once we figure out this Giannis bullshit, dude, I'm telling you, if it gets to fucking October and he signs a goddamn extension, I'm going nuts, dude. I'm going to go nuts on ESPN and their goddamn stupid agenda pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear Jaylen Brown the other day?
Yeah.
Bro,
it's
known
all
that they have an agenda.
All clickbait. We know that. We've known that.
I know that we've known that, but there are still people that fall for it. And the fact that a player is calling it out just verifies what we've already known.
Yeah.
And it's super, super annoying, dude. Like, seriously, it's super annoying. Yeah. And it's almost to the feeling where it's like, oh, okay, Giannis had his moment in Milwaukee. Now let's get him to a big market. It feels like they did that with Doncic, but Doncic didn't win the title. Like, oh, we got to push Doncic to the Lakers. Now we got to push Giannis to the Celtics, because the Knicks just won the title. Now he's not going to go to New York. He's going to go to Boston. Like,
Or to Miami.
Or Miami. Like, you don't have to do that. You can just let him be in Milwaukee. Then you have a premier player in the North.
Right. And the thing of it is like, with as prominent as social media is, it doesn't matter where a guy is.
That's what I'm saying.
You can literally be famous and be a big draw from any city.
How about his talent is what's marketable? You don't have to be in New York.
Well, and he's doing that on his own with all of the endorsement stuff that he's doing. He's doing that on his own.
He's got the Google Pixel. He's got the Huggies.
Yeah.
Like,
he's obviously got his own signature shoe. Like, he's in a lot of commercials now.
Right. Like Kalshi. Like, dude, his Kalshi commercial where they made him from Greece. Top tier commercial, by the way. Excuse me.
So, I mean, yeah, Chris Middleton being the last one, and I'm so glad you brought up Coach on the floor, because it's not only that he can check Giannis, it's that everybody on that floor respects Chris Middleton.
Yes.
Obviously, AJ Green already knows him. Ryan Rollins already knows him. Like, these guys know and respect Chris Middleton, and like you said, the extension of the coach will not shock me a single bit to see Chris Middleton being an NBA head coach someday, because his basketball IQ is that high.
I would love that, actually. That would be awesome.
I totally think it's in the cards for his future.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, again, next Wednesday we will be live during the NBA draft. Stay tuned with us as well during the week. We're going to be putting out some more content, some probably some different types of content and such like that. So stick around with us. We'll be back again next Wednesday for the draft, and we'll see you guys then.
I like it.